there's any player who has absent himself due to injury, then that is justified, because you don't want to take a half-fit player to play into any game. I'm completely against the situation where players are injected, players are not fit, and they are forced to go and play football. The only successful outcome is that you end up aggravating the injury, and if care is not taken, the player may have to sit out for a longer period than if he had not been risked. So if, like I said, if genuinely these boys are injured, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. I won't field an injured player in any game, no matter how intense or because don't forget, in 2006, I remember at the AFCON, we went with a half-fit Stephen Tornado Appiah, and believe you me, that is the worst I have seen of the Ghanaian captain or the then Ghanaian captain. By his very high standard, he just couldn't match up to it, and everything about him was so poor. And I was one of those who sincerely believed that we should have taken another player in his presence. A fully fit player would have given us a bit more. But I understood at the time the importance of Stephen Appiah to the team and why the technical team would take that risk. But the bottom line still remained that once he was not fit, there wasn't the need. And you remember my stand on the Wakaso issue. Some people took Wakaso to the AFCON, collected appearance fee, and we knew at the time he was not fit. He was not going to play. Why did we do that? Unacceptable. That thing successfully has been swept under the carpet by the big men in charge. But as a country, we should learn from that. Now, once a player is not fit, then there's no need to force him to come and play. But again, I was listening to the program. You see the way the established national teams will do their own. You don't sit somewhere and say you are not fit. You come down and get our medical team to confirm that yes, indeed, you are not fit. We just saw what the Spanish FA have done with that of Lamine Yamal. He's not fit. He presented himself, they assessed the situation, and they've made it a look. Yes, he's not. This is a player who, when fit, we know his outcome. We don't want to put him out there half fit and not get the best out of him, put him under the spotlight. People criticize him for the wrong reason, not knowing what exactly the problem is with him. You don't want to do that if you are a national team coach. But then, having said that, again, I am a bit not comfortable because it's the players calling in. If what you've been saying is true, the players are calling in to say they are not fit. You don't want that. No player has the right to pick and choose games that they think they want to play in or not to play in. So that again must be established. Then I'm one of those who believe that because we couldn't qualify for the AFCON, every single game we play in from now to the day we go to the World Cup should not be approached with that friendly mentality. If you are a coach and you're on top of your job, you should see that we're not getting the chance to assess our team competitively on the continent of Africa next month in Morocco. Every game, including this Japan and Korea game, should be treated with all seriousness because these are the only competitive games you play in to get to understand how your players will handle the quality opposition. I remember some time back when you interviewed me, and I said that per what we faced during the qualifiers, the countries we faced, every coach in Ghana will qualify the team if you are on top of your job. So we shouldn't overly praise Otuado. Yes, he's done well, but under the circumstance, I would have qualified the team to the World Cup. You would have qualified the team to the World Cup. And for that matter, every coach in Ghana, certified coach, would have qualified the team for the World Cup. Some people came for me as if I was overly rating myself. But the fact remains the fact. If you are playing against Child, if you are playing against the likes of Madagascar and Co, and you don't qualify, it is unacceptable. So yes, he did well, but we shouldn't blow it out of proportion. This is the time. This is the same coach who did not qualify our team to the AFCON. He's denied us the opportunity of assessing this team properly before the World Cup. So therefore, these are the games that he should be very, very sound and clear to the players that look, because we will not be here. We need this game for me to perfect some few things. Look, truth be told, if I was to call the team, I would have absented Thomas Partey, even if he's fit. And my reason for that, I believe strongly this team needs to be assessed in the absence of Thomas Partey.
Yeah.
He's the only untouchable, in my view, in this team. Every other player in the team we can do without.
Right.
But to me, we cannot do without Thomas Partey. So I would have rested him for this and see how this team will perform without him. And that will inform a very good tactical and technical decision if, of course, you are a coach on your game. Because, look, we've seen the lack of control of our team when Thomas Partey is not around. We've seen how controlled he is in our games, dictating the tempo, setting the pace, reducing the tempo, making everybody very comfortable in and around him. I call him the controller. And there's a genuine proven reason why I call him the controller. So I would have not called him for this, truth be told. So when I heard he was not there, I said, good, he shouldn't go. Let me see this team without him. Because I need to assess Sibo better. Michael Abu and co, who are trying to stake claims to be part of the Black Stars for the World Cup, they need to be assessed in games like this. So I would have not called Partey. Right. But I would have taken Kudus. I would have taken Jiku, because defensively, we need this defense. Jiku is an integral part of the defensive setup of the Black Stars, and we need them to be tested properly against a quality opposition, because these were the same defensive setup who we saw struggle and with Niger and Sudan. They made amends. We need to assess Benjamin Sarri again. People are of the view, I think he's the obvious number one, but I want to see him face very tricky situations and see how he handles them. So he will be there. So, but we need Benjamin Sarri together with the established backline to go in there and be tested. So I would have taken Jiku if he's fit. So like I'm saying, it's a mixed feeling sort of thing. But look, for the fact that we will not be at the AFCON. Look, most people hasn't realized this thing yet, Raymond. Let the AFCON start on the 21st of December and we see the quality on display. That is where Ghanaians will come to the realization that Otuadwe,
Coach,
right. He's qualified to the World Cup, yes, but by not taking our team to the AFCON, because we needed this AFCON to assess our team for the World Cup.
That's correct. That's correct. But coach, let's get back to the squad, and you speak about the midfield. Now, that midfield, as it stands, has Francis Abu, Prince Owusu, the Midiama boy, Christopher Bonsuba, Kwesi Sibo, and Kamal Din Sulemana. These are the players Coach Otuado has named as his midfielders. Now, if you look at the forwards and you are possibly trying to find who can play in midfield in the forward line, he has Kelvin Nkrumah, Prince Osei-Wusu, the man who plays for Montreal, Prince Edu Kwabna, he plays for Victoria Pilsen, Brandon Thomas Asante, he plays for Coventry, and Antoine Semenyo. What do you make of the midfield Otuado has in there? You have Kamaldeen Bonsuba, who could possibly be wingers, and then Abu, Prince Owusu, and Kwesi Sibo. Can Otuado really, in the absence of Partey, be able to make a sound judgment based on the players he's called up to play in this role?
Look, Raymond, let's call a spade a spade. This midfield is extremely, very, very weak. Weak in terms of quality, weak in terms of experience. Makalabo is not experienced. Sibo himself is not experienced. How many games has he played for the Black Stars? I don't think any of them, or accumulatively, they can add up to 10 games. The Mediaman boy, highly inexperienced. Okay? So you look at what he's taking to play. I saw the Japanese team. It's actually a team that they are equally going to 90% of them will be at the World Cup. I've seen the Korean team. You say the same thing. 90% will be at the World Cup next year. So they are coming in with a first choice team. And if you look at our players who are absent, I say I wouldn't have called Thomas Partey. Every other player, unless injured, truly injured, I would have taken to these 2 games. But if you look at Francis Abu, Sibo, and then the Midiama boy, who's the controller in there? Who sets the pace? They've not even played together, understood. But if you've not played together and you are very experienced, you can match up that with your form. What is the form of these guys in the midfield that we've taken? Sibo, we know, has been very undulating in Spain today. He plays 60 minutes. The next moment, he's on the bench for 2 games. The next moment, he comes in for 10 minutes. Makalabu, the same. So at the end of the day, we are taking a makeshift midfield to play against proper opposition. Look, we saw the Koreans at the World Cup in Qatar when we beat them 3-2. You remember the level of discomfort that we that game. We took a 2-0 lead. We were constantly bombarded. We gave the 2-0 lead away before Kudus rescued the situation for us. It was the most uncomfortable game I have seen the Black Stars play in recent time in the Mondial or at the World Cup. We are going back there, so-called friendly, but we have to be careful that the confidence of this team is not dented beyond repair, because these guys on their day will put 4, 5, 6 past you, because they are very pacey, they are technically very good, they are quick on the ball, tactically they have improved their game. Don't forget, Korea, when they hosted the World Cup with Japan, they went all the way to, I think, the quarter or the semi-finals. You remember the big Italian goal?
Yeah.
So there's nothing beyond them. They are capable of doing that. They were one game away from playing in the World Cup final in 2002. So on their day, they can match up to every opposition and expose the loopholes. That is why I have said, preferably, I would have taken a strong team. I heard one of your callers talk about the time frame that we have 7 months away from the World Cup, so we can afford. I'm not saying don't go and try players, but you don't go and depend on players who are not tested. You start your team after 60 minutes. You would have seen what you wanted to see, and if you are given 30 minutes plus injury time as a new player to prove you can fit into this thing, I remember Anthony Pablo Ana. Anthony Ana in 2008 did not start the first game of the Black Stars at that AFCON, but he came on as a substitute under Claude Leroy in one of the games, 20 minutes. Then he just started bossing it. He started bossing it. Everybody was like, this is rather the man to complement Michael Essien effort. So when we lost Essien in 2010 at the World Cup, Anna could set the tone together with Kevin Prince-Boateng, who was very new in the team, but his footballing career, very experienced. He's played throughout the ranks in Germany. He's played in the Premier League and all that. Kodra Samoa, at the time, we all know, the league said about him, you don't need to go there because he was an established international. But if you juxtapose that to this, even when we went to Brazil, we had Rabiu, we had Ajiman Badu. These were players who's gone through the rank, and they've played together at the under-20 level. So the two of them could just fit in the midfield. Even when Kodra Samoa was asked to play as a left-back, look, the game against US, the game against Portugal, the game against Germany, we were not overly. We took charge of this game. Suleiman Tari in midfield. We dominated the Germans. We played the best game in the World Cup in 2014 with the midfield of Rabi and Suleiman Tari and Kevin Prince-Boateng with Ajiman Bedi coming to support them. You cannot say the same thing for these guys. So you see, if you are going to a very tricky international friendly game like this, it is tricky because if we don't take care, these guys will put 3, 4 past us. So I want to see how Otuado will line up, tactically what he will do to give the boys the opportunity to convince Ghanaians that they are ready to play for the Black Stars. And we should portray ourselves such that, look, one player that I'm happy for is the Coventry City striker.
Yes, Coach, I was going to bring you to the forwards, and yes, I was going to bring you to the forwards. So let me just take you there. There's Brandon Thomas Asante, who we've seen at Coventry this season. There's Prince Osewusu, German-born Ghanaian, who now plays for FC Montreal. He scored 9 goals already this term for FC Montreal. There's Prince Edu Kwabna, who plays for Victoria Pilsen in Czech Republic. And already he scored 5 goals in 14 games for Pilsen in the league. Last season he scored 5. I think in 14 already he scored 5. So he possibly could do better than he did last season. There's Kelvin Nkrumah, the Midiama SC boy. And then there's Antoine Semenyo. Is this an opportunity for us to finally crack the code on who could potentially become that striker we could rely on in tournaments? Is this the opportunity for us to see that new Asamoah Gyan or see that player who could possibly replace Inaki Williams when the going gets tough for us, especially when it comes to the new boys? I'll take Antoine Semenyo, the new boys who have joined the team.
Yeah, I think it's a yes and no answer. For the Coventry boy, I believe he doesn't need to prove anything to anybody because he's a breed we don't have. He's a breed, I believe, when our team assembled, if we really need a player to lead the line, I would get him to lead the line because he's a box striker. You see, if you watch him play at club level, he's not so much involved in the link-up play. The moment he comes out to link up the play, he's going straight into the box. We don't have anybody in the Black Stars. I repeat, Jordan doesn't do that. Semenyo does not do that. Inaki Williams does not do that. We need a box striker, somebody who knows that for me, my movement should be within that rectangular arena. My movement should make sure that 90% of the time I am there, ready to pounce. So he's a breed. He reminds me of Anthony Yeboah. Yeboah during his playing day was not skillful, but he was a box striker. Occasionally, he had the power to strike the ball from distance. But most of Anthony Yeboah's goal, he was heading the ball in the box. He was tapping them in. He was manhandling defenders in the box. And if you look at Brendan Asante, he looks like that. I mean, he's not tall, but he's very stout, very strong, very pacey, and somebody who can actually match up to the demands of being a striker. So for him, I have said that I've completely disagreed with Otuado giving him 10 minutes there, 5 minutes there, 8 minutes there in competitive games. I want to see him lead the line. We saw him in the Unity Cup, you remember, against Nigeria. Look at the goal he scored. That goal that brought us back into the game. We had 4 touches from the goalkeeper to, I think, from Gideon Mensah to a midfielder, from a midfielder out wide. By the time the cross was whipped in, it was Brenda at the end of the move just going ahead of the defender and placing it. And I told myself that, look, this is what he does. And if I'm the coach of the team, I will get my team to feed on that. Semenyo, Jordan, Inaki, none of them does the sort of things he does. They are all unique within their right. Okay? So for him, put him in there. But my worry is that those guys he's going to be playing with today, those behind him, the midfielders, are they going to have control of the game to feed him properly? Because a striker is quickly turned to be useless when he's not touching the ball and putting the ball in the back of the net. There are times when we've seen Eli Hanan touch the ball only 9-10 times. But within the 9-10 times, he scores two goals because he's a box striker. So he may touch it outside of the box, but if he touches it twice or thrice in the box, in the form of an opportunity, he puts 2 or 3 away. So that is the sort of, and then it depends on the way the team will play. If you have Brandon Asante, if you look at Kamaldeen Suleiman, I know he will start the game because he's one of the people that the coach trusts. But how well is Kamaldeen assist statistics? He hardly assists. Even at Atlanta, if you want to hear about him, he's scoring the goals. He does not go back to the past 3-4 years. I don't think Kamaldeen has given close to 12 assists accumulatively. So if you've got players like Brenda Asante, you must feed them, feed the ball to them. But that is the way to bring the best out of them. Okay, look at the way Coventry City play under Lampard. 1, 2, 3, out, put it in, he's there. That's why he scored the number of goals he scored. For the others, they are very new to the team, apart from Semenyo. The ones you've mentioned who plays in US, they are very new to the team. And they are not going to be playing with established stars. So I'm a bit uncomfortable there. But let's hope that the Black Stars will take charge of the game and be able to create. Sibo and then Abu in midfield can show some form of presence, dominance, and put the ball forward to them and let them feed. Or else they will go in there and the only thing they'll be doing, their back will be facing the defenders, linking up the play. But when they turn, the quality will not be there to put the ball in front of them for them to go and punish. And for me, every footballing team that cannot get the ball in front of his or her forward players for them to punish, your level is actually substandard. So it's a bit difficult to say emphatically. That's why I want to watch this game. I heard it's 10 a.m. Ghana time.
Yes, 10 a.m. Ghana time on Friday. Yes, that's correct.
Wow.
Now, Coach, well, interestingly, on Kamaldeen Suleiman, in his last 4 seasons playing in the Premier League, playing for Atalanta, he's played close to 80 matches and has managed only 5 assists. That's 6 assists. That's quite worrying.
There you go.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Look, for a winger, that is a huge concern.
Yeah.
You've played it up to 80 games and you cannot put together even 7 assists in the past 3. That is worrying for a winger. So people like Brenda Asante, if they are playing with Kamaldeen, you can imagine. You'll just be there completely toothless.
Now, Coach, let's talk about the defenders. There's the introduction of Derek Atakon, and there's a lot of talk about his quality and what he brings to the team. Many believe Atakon is going to be the solution to our left-back problems, possibly casting the mold of Hans Edu Sape, a bit of Evra, a bit of Mendes, and a bit of Marcelo about him. That's what we hear about the player. But the other players in the team, Jerome Opoku, Jonas Ajete, Caleb Yuenchi, Gideon Mensah, Mohamed Salisu, Ebenezer Annan, Kojo Opompepra, and Alidu Sedu. What do you make of the back line? What kind of partnership would you want to see? What kind of pairings would you want to see at the back? And possibly come to the conclusion that, well, we have the men to actually protect that rear guard for us when we go to the tournament.
I think Otuado in the last few games did show that he preferred a back three or a back five with the two guys playing as wing back. That Atacon guy, I've watched clips of him. I'm yet to watch a full match of him. But from the little I have seen, look, if he can repeat that with the Black Stars, I think Guido Mensah is in big trouble here. Because, look, Guido Mensah, defensively, I think is one of the weakest link in our team. And then going forward, I think there's a bit more. If you look at Atacon, going forward, he does that with intent. He's a bit aggressive, and he's got the physique to match up to the physical part of the game. So if he can bring whatever I have seen in clips into the Black Stars, because we have struggled as a national team with that left back position. No two ways about that. Even during the times Babarama came in, he was extremely good. It got to a time, the least said about him, the better. Gideon took over the mantle. He's not yet been convincing in my view. So if I'm the coach, I'll be looking at somebody who will convince me. So it's an opportunity for Atacon to grab. Yeah. Because the World Cup beckons. The World Cup is what is ahead of him. So if he can grab that, he goes forward. Who knows? We can only benefit as a country. Now, if you look at the back line, I have always said that I like Jerome a lot. I don't know, but I think for a left-footed player and how powerful he is in the air, his control of the round object is absolutely brilliant. He's a better passer of the ball than Jiku and Salisu and Co. He passes the ball better from the back. He drives forward with it better if there's no need. Because in the World Cup, these are the things that will be happening. People will look at our team and they will know that Partey cannot be allowed to dictate. So when they block the channel to Partey, we will need one of our defenders to step out with the ball and push it forward to go and do the passing. That Jiku cannot do. That Salisu cannot do. So I've always preferred Jerome, and I hope the national team coaches will look at this and assess the team along that line. Because what we cannot afford to do is to be doing a lot of 10 overs. We get beat, and we get beat very, very well. We don't want that at the Mondial. Right. So I prefer Jerome. Look, Alidu Sedu. Okay, most people, for me, I don't rate him that much. I think he's overly concerned about the physicality of the game. And you are not that tall, you are not big, you are very stout. So I think the IQ should be the one doing the job more often than get involved in the physicality. And for him, because he wants to show everybody he's strong, he tends to lose focus, and we get punished most of the time when he's on the going forward. He's not one of the best wing back. He's got no attribute. I repeat, no attribute of a wing back. If you want to play him in the back three, then he should be on the right side of the back three, not as a wing back, because going forward is zero. His crosses zero. His technical ability zero. He cannot dribble. Every wing back should have the technical ability to dribble past a full back of the opponent and be able to whip in good crosses for his attackers to pounce. Do we see that in Alidu Sedu? No. So as a back three, I prefer him as one of the center. But even that, you see, look, that back three position. Let me take you back. When the Italians had the back three of Chiellini, Bonucci, I've forgotten the other guy. They were all good passers of the ball. If you are playing the back three and you cannot pass the ball properly as one of the center backs, then your team is going to do a lot of turnovers. That is why if you look at the Black Stars playing the back three, Jiku, anytime he goes forward, 90 out of 100, he gives the ball away. Salisu, 90 out of 100, he gives the ball away. And the new Ajete boy, anytime they go forward with the ball, they give it away. Yeah. At the World Cup, these are the things that the opponent will be identified. Okay, so block the channel to Thomas Partey, force them to pass the ball from their defenders. And we know that 90 out of 10, they will give it to us. The moment they do that, we are in big trouble. So if you are going to play a back three, look, I don't understand why Jerome cannot be in that back three. Because like I said, he's the better passer of the ball amongst all of them. So I will look at the team because these are the qualities and the attributes that you need from your back three, apart from they being able to defend very, very well on 1v1 situation. The added quality, uncompromisably, you cannot compromise on that, is the ability to pass the ball from the back. That is what Jerome will do. So yes, again, the leader of the back three is not there, which in my view is Chiku.
Yeah.
It is up to Salisu for him to lead by example and get the back line properly organized. Make sure there isn't too much gap between the midfield and the attackers. When the attackers go, as the back three, you need to push the midfielders and let them go forward. But it must be done smartly. When the person is not there, you need to hold the line and drop off a bit so that you are not caught. Because these Japanese and these Koreans, one thing about them, they are very, very quick.
Yeah,
nimble-footed. Interpositional passes, they are very good at that. So look, we will look at the team and we'll see what it. But like I said, look, I wish we had all our team there because we'll not be in the AFCON, minus Thomas Partey, and we would have assessed the team properly without Thomas Partey and see how well this team will operate.
Coach, finally, if you are Otuado, going into a game with 3 goalkeepers, 2 we have already seen, 1 we've only seen videos of. Joseph Annan, we've seen clips of, we've seen his passing range, we've seen his assists before the assist in games, his shot-stopping ability. We've only seen clips of it. We've not seen him do it for the national team. You have Benjamin Asare, who's been in post, kept clean sheets against countries like Central African Republic, Madagascar, and the likes. And then Atizigi, who we all know from his previous games for the Stars. If you are Otuado going into this Asia tour, which of your goalkeepers are you going to put in? Are you going to put in Benjamin Asare, who many also believe hasn't been really tested, or you are going to give us a chance to see another goalkeeper like Annan?
I think I will start with my number 1. I will start with Benjamin Asare. Like you rightly said, until something changed, I think he's the number 1 of the team. And what you don't want to do, you've seen Ati very convincingly over the past years. I have said that is my son, that is my boy. Most people don't know, but Ati is my boy. I unearthed him. He played for me. I held his hand and take him, and then I took him wherever he needed to go. But today he doesn't even call me. That is aside. But at the end of the day, he's the boy who thrives based on competition. I have said that. Since Benjamin Asare took over the position, the day Ati gets the position again, regularly, I don't think Benjamin Asare will see the goalpost again. Because Ati now will thrive because there's competition. Wolcott and those people, they didn't compete him. He became so comfortable. That has been his attribute. That has been his within his DNA since he was a kid. When I picked him up at the age of 8 years and started working with him, he's never thrived when there's no competition. But when he knows that there's somebody, you see, when Benjamin Asare came, nobody thought Benjamin Asare was going to take over from him.
Yeah.
So I believe he himself, he was caught unaware. But now it is clear, and everybody can see that Asare has taken over the position. So in this game, if I'm the coach, I'll start with Benjamin Asare, especially when I've got makeshift players that I don't trust. I need my goalkeeper who has proven to be a good organizer, a good leader at the back, and get them to speak to them well. And you see, normally too, as a coach, the department that you really don't want to tamper with most often is your defensive, and that begins from the goalkeeper. So I'll start. It's a 2-game thing. Let Asare start if he's ready to start. Let him start. And then in the other game, I will go 45 minutes here. And in fact, Ati, you don't need any more invitation, but I will give him another opportunity, 45 minutes in the second game, and see how it goes. And then 60 minutes, 70 minutes, then I pull him out, then I think the other guy is the Kotoko goalkeeper, isn't it?
No, so he went with Annan, who plays for Patrick Athletic, St. Patrick's Athletic. Yeah,
exactly. So then
the one who kicks very well.
Yes, I understand. So then I will give him 20 or 30 minutes to have a feel of it and see how he will get in there, and let's play to his strength and see how he manages the situation. But every team should have an established number 1. Once he's there and he's available, I will start with him. Unless, let's see, we could find ourselves in a very comfortable situation, and then you pull him out, and then you see the rest. Because at the end of the day, every position in the team is supposed to be keenly contested for. Right. Nobody is home and dry. No position in the team is secure. I believe that even Thomas Partey that I said is an untouchable. I believe as the player we cannot do it. The day he start becoming complacent, I'll be the first person to tell you people we need to get him out of there. But until that, to me, he's the only untouchable in this team. Every other player should be fine. You can look at Antoine Semenyo. He's played 19 to 20 games for the Black Stars. I think he scored only 1 or 2 goals. Yeah. We need him to be scoring for the team. We need him to be scoring for the team. That must be made perfectly clear. And he should be sat down and say, look, young man, the form you showed there, you needed to show that form. But in making it clear, how well is the team playing? Is the system favoring him? Or is the system, because he's one of our best players. Yeah. And we need him to be on his form for the team to benefit. But 19 or 20 games, 1 or 2 goals, no, we cannot live with that going to the World Cup. That would be disastrous going to the World Cup if one of our established players are not is not scoring regularly, my brother.
Coach, finally, let's talk about Kelvin Nkrumah and Prince Owusu. 2 home-based stars playing for the same team, expected to play a part in this in the 2 games. What do they bring to the team, and what kind of quality do they have that we haven't seen from some of the players that we have? And could they possibly nail a spot at the World Cup if they are able to grab the opportunity in the 2 games that we are playing against Japan and South Korea?
Raymond, for me, I completely disagree with the statement that we should give the local players some quota going to the national team. No. I believe that whenever you are, whoever is there should be there on merit. Yeah. Should be there on merit. So if the boy is a local player and he plays in our league and he's good enough, he should be there based on merit. Now, if you look at this lad, the midfielder, the Mijama boy, I think he's a good player. But at this stage of the Black Stars, whoever walks into this team to be a player who makes us better, right. If whatever he's going to offer is something we already have, I will not look at him at all. Because I'm preparing for the best international tournament in the world. If I'm going to bring in a player for the sake of it, but that player doesn't improve my team, I will not look at him at all. Because in bringing in, he will need time to adapt to the chemistry of the team. If whatever he's bringing, look at when Kevin Boateng was brought into our team. He came in and he made an immediate impact. He made us better. I'm ready to debate and argue anybody who says Kevin Boateng did not improve the Black Stars in 2010 at that World Cup in South Africa. He made us better. His movement, his passing, his tackling, his runs, everything made us better. Brought the best out of Tony Annan, brought the best out of Kodjo Asamoah. So if he's a local player or he's an international player, played everywhere, even in Azerbaijan, Iraq, if he's got a quality that we've not got, if he's bringing something that we don't have, and whatever he brings makes us better as a team, you put it in there. You put him in. It's a non-negotiable. You don't compromise on that. That's what I hate the situation where the national team belongs to certain people. Absolute nonsense. That cannot be the case. Because whatever they do, eventually we pay them. So for me, it is good to have the local boys in the team, but they must be told that you are not there because you are a local player. You are there because you meet up to the demands and the quality required to be with the team. The moment you instill that into them, he goes in there and he's not being looked down upon by the teammates, and he himself look at himself and say, look, I'll take up this responsibility. When we took Sila Ilyasu to the World Cup in 2006, Djokovic, Djokovic at the time, told everybody that Ilyasu is capable of playing in the absence of John Mensah and Sami Kufuor. And truth be told, when he got the opportunity, it was a bold decision after the game against Italy to drop the most experienced, the most established player in the Black Stars in 2006, only to turn and give the position to a local player who at the time was playing for King Faisal, who had little experience with the Black Stars. But Sheila Ilyasu went in there, and if you were not told that he was a local player, nobody would have seen that. Agreed?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, that's correct. So at the end of the day, we saw Aminu Dramani, we saw Adokwe Papo and Co, we saw Dankwe. They didn't go there because they were local. They went there because they could slinge. And the likes of Michael Essien and Zule Montari, Stephen Appiah and co, who were well established, admitted that these guys have been brought in to make us better. So if it's about local, then stay them out. Let them stay away. But I want to believe that they can match up to the demands and the quality required. That is why they've been called. So they must be told to go and prove that. Because if they don't go and prove that, they're not going to get any sympathy from people like me. Because they are local players.
Right.
Unacceptable. This is the Black Stars we are talking about here.
Right. Coach, I think we would pause the conversation on the Black Stars and the squad for now. Hopefully in the coming days, we'll look at what Otuado should do, what kind of lineup he should put up, what we should expect from the Japanese, and what Ghanaians should think or make of the outcome of the result. We'll get into all of that in the coming days before kickoff on Friday. Coach, thank you very much for joining us on Sporty Breakfast. It's been a pleasure having you. Makele. Have a good day, Coach.
Same to you, my brother.
Right.